Sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together. One business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Works meeting. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Could we please call roll?
Mayor Bonta,
Here.
Member Newell, Member Lewis,
Here.
Member Farkas,
Here.
Member Maleta.
Here.
Did you guys have a chance to look at the minutes, and is there a motion on them?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 26th meeting.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So up first, we have the BCR contract. Mr. Cherry, is that you? BCR is an elevator, right?
Yeah, nothing exciting. This is, currently City Hall does not have a elevator maintenance agreement with anybody. So I reached out to a few companies. We had a couple responses and bids. This one is the lowest, being $1,000 a year plus annual safety test of about 800, and a 5-year test for Cat 5 communications at about 1,600. Closest, the other bidder was close to 7,000 per year. So quite a contrast. So I recommend approving the BCR contract, which is yearly, and we can revisit it on a yearly basis. I have given Attorney Graham this contract, and he said it was written properly.
I'll make a motion to approve the BCR contract.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
The proven IT, this is, this affects building department, planning, community development regarding, this is for permits, right-of-way permits up in planning and building permits down in building. Currently, all the information, all of our years' past information is held by Image Silo. Image Silo, we pay around $2,000 a month just to have that housed at their cloud or however that all works. This is from Proven IT to transfer from Proven or from Image Silo and get this into a more secure environment for data. Also develop 2 programs for right-of-way permitting and for building department license application process. So they're going to be building these systems for us to use it's going to be a better system for them to use. So they're going to transfer, do the programming for the amount per month that's on the sheet. This goes away in 63 months, whereas if we stuck with Image Silo, it would be $2,000 a month indefinitely. So, Attorney Graham, did you read this agreement as well?
Yes, I did. I'm not quite prepared to offer my approval.
Okay.
On that, so if this one can be continued until the next board.
It's a very vague agreement, so we may want to, we could reach out to Proven for a better agreement.
So are we talking about tabling this, or are we talking about approving it upon attorney review?
I would suggest tabling it until the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to table the proven IT contract management proposal.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Tom. Next, we have the Pay App 1 for Airport Road and Loot Road traffic signal. I can tell you this has caused a whole lot of excitement, just anytime you talk about that traffic signal.
Yes, they actually started work today. They are digging the holes for the signal pole foundations. So what you have in front of you is a pay application and an invoice from Hawk Enterprises for the material. So this pay app is in the amount of $106,674. The department would recommend that we approve and pay Hawk Enterprises.
I'll make a motion, we pay, is it pay app or change app?
Pay
Pay app.
application.
Pay app number 1 in the amount of $106,674.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Thank you. And then next, we have permission to advertise for 2024-2 CCMG street paving and repair project.
Early November, the city was awarded $347,030.33 in community crossing matching grant funds. This was what was left of the $1.5 million that we were awarded earlier in the year. Obviously, we can't be doing any paving anytime soon, so I'm asking permission to advertise for us to bid this out probably in January, February, and obviously them starting once the plants open early in the spring.
I'll make a motion to grant permission to advertise for paving in the 2025 spring.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Then we have change order 1 for 2024-1 CCMG paving and repair project.
This is a change order for our contract with Reith Riley, who performed our community crossing matching grant street paving this year. The change order is in the amount, it's a decrease of $321,599.63. The department would recommend that the board approve this change order.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1 in the amount of a credit of $321,599.63.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That gets us to pay app 2 for 2024 CCMG paving and repair project.
So you actually have 3 line items in front of you. There are 3 pay applications. They're all for the same project. They're for the project Reith Riley worked on for us. The reason why I have 3 different pay apps, it's for budgeting purposes. I have funds coming out of one account and funds coming out of another account and funds coming out of a separate account. So to make it easier for the clerk's office to be able to take it out of these different accounts, I divided everything up into 3 different pay applications. So pay application number 2 is for $214,018.57. Pay application number 3 is for $1,211,579.44. And pay application number 4 is the amount of $383,901.50. The department would recommend that the Board of Works approve and pay all 3 of these pay applications.
Ed, is it appropriate, okay for us to pass that as one motion? If somebody were to make a motion with all 3?
I would prefer that the board undertake one at a time.
Gotcha.
I'll make a motion that we pay app number 2 in the amount of $214,018.57.
I'll second that.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, who wants to take number 3?
I'll do number 3. I'll make a motion to approve pay app number 3 in the amount of $1,211,579.44.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Then anybody want to do 4?
I'll make a motion we approve pay app number 4 in the amount of $383,901.50.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have approval for the maintenance bond for River Trace subdivision. There's also, I'm just curious, is this kind of a similar, we've got maintenance, performance, and performance. Maybe you want to explain them all in one swoop?
Sure, of course. The 3 bonds in front of you are for the River Trace subdivision. Their infrastructure is in. This is a matter of getting their bonds approved so that they can get their plat signed and recorded so they can actually start selling some lots. So the city requires bonding for performance bonds for items that have yet to be installed and maintenance bond for items that have already been installed. I've reached out to City Attorney Graham to review the language. There are some things that needed to be added, but I've also reached out to our developer who said that he can have the language added and the bonds returned to us early next week. So with that said, approved contingent upon the language being modified and returned to us early next week for review again.
The ordinance provides certain elements be included in the bond, and as Sandy referred, there's some missing language with some efficient typewriting. It can be corrected, so a conditional approval would be appropriate. And just for your sake, there's no reference to a 1-year completion. There should be a 60-day notice prior to expiration included in the bond with board approval of the expiration. And then lastly, there's a reference needed to show 5% incremental increases for any extensions. Those are the concepts that are missing.
Something I really appreciate is the phrase efficient typewriting. I'm just going to remember that for some future meeting.
A motion to approve the River Trace maintenance bonds in the amount of $517,906.92, contingent upon some language review and addition from the attorney.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we have the fire department ladder truck contract.
I believe the maintenance bond was the only
Oh,
one listed.
I'm sorry. Oh, we missed, oh, I'm so sorry. We still got to do these one at a time. I was thinking it was like
Sorry.
sorry, so that was maintenance. Now let's do the next performance bond.
I'll make a motion to approve the performance bond for sidewalks in the amount of $173,790, once the corrections have been made.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. And who wants to do that third one? Yes, or no, surface.
Frank did number 3.
Oh,
I'll make a motion, we approve the performance bond for the River Trace subdivision asphalt servicing in the amount of $102,774.18.
I'll second that.
all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll do the fire truck, ladder truck contract.
It's got to be a red folder. The packet in front of you is a proposal to purchase and replace our current tower truck. Our current truck is 26 years old. It's holding together, but one thing could take it out of service and we'd be out without that vehicle. The vehicle is a little unique in ladder trucks because it has an articulating jib on the end, which allows us to get up onto ships. We use it a lot at 20 and Dombey, actually, when cars fall into the ditch. Allows us to get over parapet walls, on roofs, stuff like that. There's currently only one manufacturer who offers the direct replacement to that ladder truck, and that's Rosenbauer, that's in front of you. We took a trip down to the dealership in St. Louis about a month ago to look at one of these trucks in person. It meets and exceeds our expectations to what would replace our current ladder truck. With talking with the salesman in the dealership, they had one of these trucks in line to be produced as a stock truck, and we would be able to secure that stock truck now at the current price listed on the purchase order, and we could have it in 18 months, which is beneficial to us because of if we order it from ground up, it would be about 26 to 36 months lead time. So through this purchase, also the important thing, in 2027 becomes a new generation of diesel motor for heavy trucks. With that, the time frame for that is anything has to be produced by 2027 has to have the new motor. So that's first generation technology. We really want to stay away from first generation technology, so if we were to hold this project up, we would have to wait, we would prefer to wait until second generation technology would come along. So working with the dealership, they were willing and able to, if we were able to secure this purchase, 18 months from now is when the $2.2 million is the price tag. That would be due in 18 months. If for some reason the city was not able to have that funding. The dealership will take that vehicle and sell it for a 6-month period. After that 6 months, the city would be liable for the vehicle. Talking with him, it's a very desired vehicle. They don't see any problem with selling it if we were not to be able to secure the funding. We're asking to get permission to sign this contract through Sourcewell. Sourcewell is a cooperative buying agency that meets all the specs and all the requirements for bidding. They've already pre-bid everything out, and the city has done business with them before.
In terms of funding, what are we planning on as the source of funding?
So we've been working with Dan Bowditch, who he's primarily involved with the RDC as the consultant that handles the redevelopment commission, but he's also worked with police and fire on putting together a spending and equipment plan for both departments. Simply put, Portage needs to have a consistent, equipment purchasing plan. We've never really had a written one before, or if we had, it's been so long that there's not a great, record of one. That's what we've been putting together. It'll probably, well, I can go into detail about that, but a lot is still getting put together at a meeting coming up this week. But I'm very confident that once we have the initial funding to go, we'll be able to put that plan together.
Thank you.
On the left-hand side of your packet's also all the Sourcewell information with references to the Indiana regulations, and going through Sourcewell with Rosenbauer as the manufacturer, they offer a 15% discount through Sourcewell. So that price is 15% off of what it would be without Sourcewell. So with the new generation motor, that's going to add about $100,000 just for the motor. And then the price increase of the first of the year is 2 to 3% industry-wide.
I do have one last question. You said you went down to the showroom. Did they let you drive it around?
Yes, sir. They did. It performed very well. It was very comparable to our 75-foot ladder as far as performance-wise. It's got the same motor as our new engines. So maintenance-wise, same filters, same all that kind of stuff. But it handled very, very well for a large truck.
Thank you.
My question also, I guess, would be, so within 18 months, we're looking at kind of like summer of 2026?
Yes, sir.
How much time do you anticipate it, running? You know how it goes, like equipment, you have to really replacing it is better than getting to, let's say, 26 years, in the future.
Yes.
I know that Bowditch has kind of put that together already as far as like, and he's worked with you guys on equipment and when we need, but just for our purposes, how long do we expect to, get out of the new truck once we have it?
So realistically, 20 years is the expectation through NFPA. After 25 years, it no longer is compliant with ISO, the insurance rating organization. So right now, we are not getting credit for having a tower ladder with ISO, which is a big thing with industry in particular. So 20 years is our goal. After 25, it really doesn't help us as far as ISO goes.
And that matches where you think the second generation technology? I really like the idea of skipping the first if we can. I would hope that it...
I would hope that the second gen would come out 3 or 4 years after the first gen. It's all that with the diesel emissions stuff is what they're adding to it. They're making it more strict in 2027.
And just out of not just complete curiosity, I'm sure anything is something, but once we're able to let go of the current, tower truck, given its age in, 18 months, it's 26 already, what is like the resale value of something like that if we were to sell it? I imagine it wouldn't be getting sold to another department somewhere.
It probably would not be getting sold to another department. Probably a museum would be a better place for it, honestly. It's one of about 2, we think, still in existence. So it probably does not have a huge resale value on the seconds market.
Maybe it'll be one of those like private collectors that drives around in parades, like somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Quick question, size-wise, is this comparable to what we have? Will we be able to house this truck as we do now without
Yes,
any
it's
modifications?
remind me, Joe, 6 inches taller than our current? Yeah. It's well within the spec of Station 3 where the current ladder truck is.
Thought for sure you were going to say it's going to fit in station number 4.
Were you listening in on our conversation earlier?
Any other questions? I think that the two key points of this deal is, one is the fact that going through Sourcewell, which I don't know if Randy's here. Oh, there you are. Oh, wow. I believe you can vouch for the program that they offer. Would be.
Yeah, we've used Sourcewell on the street and sanitation department for a number of years. It is a government agency with a board of directors that gives us superior pricing in the specs that we submit through the vendors that are on their list, so I very highly recommend it.
And I think that other piece is, and I think it's really shrewd to work out a deal, although I'm confident that we're going to have, our stuff put together, so we'll be able to have this in 18 months. But I think it's a very shrewd, business thing that you guys worked out, that they're able to sell it to another. It gives us I hate to say a way out, because we're going to be in kind of a bad spot if we're not able to replace the current truck. But I think it's a very good idea for us to be able to make an approval that allows this to be put together and ready, and then gives us the time to work the finances out, rather than have to put the money together and then wait, 18 months to 2 years. Yeah.
A motion that we approve the purchase of the, is it Rosenbauer?
Rosenbauer, yes. Sir.
Rosenbauer truck, in the amount of $2,215,123.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Speaking of Randy, do we have any bulk item appeals? No, sir. Great. Did you guys have a chance to look at the claims, and were there any questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the claims in the amount of $376,379.47.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any other business deemed proper to be brought before the board? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.